Here is a list of the CEOs of the top financial companies. These are the world's greatest investors of all time. Here is a list of the top influencers in the financial sector. This is a picture of the Wall Street trading floor. And this is a chart showing the viewership of my personal finance YouTube channel based on gender. Do you see a pattern here? I do. Money and financial well-being are as important for women as they are for men. But then, why there is such a huge disparity? If you are someone who believes in a fair world, where men and women share the stage equally in every field, where every woman get equal chances and opportunities as men, then you should watch this. Let's get started. For much of the human history, women had very little say in financial matters. And you probably know the reason why.
On a farm in the 1880s, family life followed a pattern. The father was head of the family in the fullest sense of the word. He had the primary economic responsibility for its survival, and he was the final source of authority. The mother, in addition to her traditional responsibility for the rearing of children, had regular duties, such as the preparing of food and keeping the farmhouse clean.
Many societies considered men the solo breadwinners in the family, while women had to take care of the children and do household tasks. And I'm not talking about medieval times. What I'm going to tell you was a very common scenario just a few decades ago. Just imagine this. You are a woman, you get married, and all of a sudden, your car and money belong to your husband. You have to ask your husband's permission if you want to work. You are no longer allowed to have your own bank account. And do you know which country had this draconian laws? Saudi Arabia? Afghanistan? No. This was the situation in 1950s Germany until the Equal Rights Act was passed in 1958. And even then, women could only be employed if they fulfilled their family duties. Now we are in 2023 and it may seem ridiculous to still have these kind of conversations. However, the truth is that while good progress has been made over the past few years, there still exists a severe gender equality problem at our homes and also at our workplaces, especially when it comes to the topic of finances. But before we dive into those problems, I have to talk about a superwoman. She was born in a rural village in India in the 60s. And this was a time when Indian society was highly patriarchal. Girls were considered a liability and educating a girl child was seen as a non-profitable undertaking. This was a time when the primary job of a woman was seen as being at home, taking care of her husband and the family, and those who went to work were highly frowned upon. Despite all these odds, she went to college and got a degree in commerce. And in 1981, she started working as a bank clerk. And after 39 years of service, she retired in 1920. But then she didn't stop there. She didn't think to herself, I have come a long way. Now it's time to sit back, relax and enjoy. No. She went on to pass the investment securities exam and became an investment broker. And lucky for me, she is the one who takes care of all my investments in India. And that superwoman is my mother. Unfortunately, she is not the norm. She is an exception and an inspiration for me and many others. But why does financial independence matter so much for women? The basic reason is the same as that for men or anyone else for that matter. Because it gives us the power and freedom to decide what we want to do with our life without making many adjustments. But when we dig deeper, we can find two reasons why being financially independent is more important for a woman than for a man. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 3 women faces some form of domestic violence. That's 736 million women around the world. But then, there is also irony in it. Most of these women depend on the abusers for their financial security. Unfortunately, they don't have any income or savings which would otherwise give them a choice. But then the strange thing is, many who earn an income and are independent on paper still live a dependent lifestyle. They leave all the finances to the men fully or at least partially in their lives. All the salary is transferred to the husband at the end of every month and he takes care of the finances. And then they have to ask the husband's permission to buy things for their own needs. And in a way, I can understand why people find financial security in relationships, especially when married. It feels safe, stable and reliable, like it will never end, but it can. You could be stripped of your economic privileges at any point because the so-called shared finances are not actually your own. If you're currently in a relationship and don't have an income or means to support yourself financially, when a need comes, then you shouldn't feel comfortable. But then there is an even bigger injustice happening at our workplaces, and that brings us to our second reason. According to the World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report of 2021, women on average earn only 63% of what men earn globally, despite having the same qualifications and experience as the male counterparts. And do you know how long it will take before this gap is closed? Year 2255. That's another 200 years. Your granddaughter, and probably her granddaughter, will be born in a world where she will be a step behind even before getting started with her life. And the problem is not just the equality factor. There is a much bigger direct consequence for women due to this gap. The gender pay gap is thought to be one of the major contributors to old age poverty in women. Earning less money means women will be less likely to save and invest for the future. And when we talk about investments, there is a much wider gap here. Do you remember the picture from the New York Stock Exchange trading floor? Wall Street was an all-boys club, and kind of still is. In 2021, women made only 1/3 of the total stock market investments. This is the gender investment gap, and it's not just because women earn less or invest less. According to a report published by US National Highway Administration, a woman is 70% more likely to die than a man in a car crash. Most cars have been designed around the average male, and the most commonly used car crash dummy is 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighs 176 pounds. We have to read that together with a report from CNBC, which states that the number of senior positions in investment banks that are held by women is less than 17%. So when men handles the major investment roles in an organization, then fewer policies can happen in the direction of women. So in such an unfair world, it's even more important for women to aim for financial independence. But I think most already understand the importance of that. The difficulty comes in the how-to part. But before trying to do something about it, one must take time and understand the current situation, because what is to be done depends a lot on where you currently stand in your life. Are you dependent on someone for money? If then, you have to try to reduce that dependency. How to do that? There is only one way. Make money and create a stable income source. If you are educated, then prepare a resume and start applying for a job. Doesn't matter the salary. Every penny earned is a step in the right direction. Or if you are brave enough, then kickstart your entrepreneurship journey. Understand your strengths, those areas where others come to you for advice, and try to build new skills in those areas. Internet and social media have opened doors to the end of the world. You can reach anyone with a product or an idea. The opportunities are just plenty. If you already earn an income, then your first priority should be to think of ways to make most out of your money. And for a start, you can do these 3 things. Educate yourself. Start by doing the little things. Put aside 30 minutes a day to learn more about personal finance, and an hour a month to go through your spending. If you're married or sharing expenses with someone, then get involved more in financial matters.
Now, my fourth point is finances.
Money is one of the top sources of stress and tension in a relationship. And the more you openly discuss it with your partner, the better it is for your relationship. And very important, keep your personal account and common account separate. You can contribute to the household expenses, family savings and investments through the joint account, and then manage rest of the money on your own. It's your hard-earned money. Only you have the right to it. Start saving and investing if you aren't already. Open an investment account. And here also, start small. The easiest way is to find an online broker, register for a trading account, and then invest in a low-cost index fund such as the S&P 500. And as you improve your financial knowledge, you can diversify into stocks, bonds, or other equities. When you own some investments, you will naturally show some interest in the financial news and start to learn and understand how the market works. This was one topic that I debated a lot in my mind. Creating a video like this takes a huge effort to research, to shoot, and to edit. And as I said earlier, most of my viewers are men. So I wasn't sure if there was any point in putting all this effort if there was no one to watch. But then I strongly believe that this is an important topic that has to be discussed. Even if it makes a small impact on a single person, I would consider this an effort well spent. So to all those women who are listening, I will never really know how difficult it is for you to live in this world. But I know certain things. Nature has dealt you an unfair hand with our biological differences. Menstruation has its physical and emotional toll, but it also comes with additional expenses. Even though conceiving and carrying a child is an amazing experience, it also comes with its own set of sacrifices and risks. We live in a world where women are still denied entry into religious places because of their gender. History has always treated women as second-class citizens. And what about the future?
Amazon is learning a tough lesson about artificial intelligence. The company has now abandoned an AI recruiting tool after discovering that the program was biased against women.
I don't believe it will get any easier in the future. But then, that's when you need to fight more. You need to continue to step out, take charge, and take the lead. Those things that don't kill you make you stronger. Adios.